Wait. That song's so nice. It's so sweet. We have to do it again. Matter of fact, let's do this. Run it! Is that everything? Look like that's everything. Let me see if I got a few more things to point out here. And I'm about to start the stream now, guys, so bear with me. I'm just looking through things. This Pookie and RayRay thing. All right. I think that's pretty much it. I forgot anybody? Might not forgot someone. Nope, I did not forget no one. I don't know why this thing keep popping up. Anyway, I'm gonna share this now. Okay, where's my board? Okay, here we go, guys. Yes, all right. Welcome again to another stream here, or another session, podcast, or whatever you want to call this, here on the Chaos Rain channel. As you know, I'm Chaos Rain here, the one and only. And let me put a stop to this because it looks like it's getting annoying now with that sound. 1 second, guys. Okay, I think I fixed it. Okay. So now, before I go into the title for today's stream, if you're new to the Chaos Rain channel, welcome. And if you are going to be subscribing in the future, welcome as well. As you know, here in the Chaos Rain, the mission here to the Chaos Rain is always, like anything else, to raise your attention span so that you break that 5-second attention span. Because the average attention span of just people in general is under 5 seconds, and that is no good, in my opinion. But anyway, none of that. I mean, your attention span should be better as a person. It should not be anything below or even higher, depending on what you're trying to absorb or gather and retain. So keep a high attention span. You can follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. I have a Twitter. And always, you can now add me a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook as well. Hold on. Now, one thing, as I'm looking through social media and YouTube, I noticed there was such a trending thing going around here. Well, before I go to the subject at hand, I have to say this personally. As y'all know, we are in this month of quote unquote Black History Month. And for those that are celebrating Black History Month, you must understand the history of many things is Black history is not just compiled by 1 month out of the year, and which is the shortest month of the year. It is world history. I think Arthur Schaunsberg said best that if you want to understand your history as a quote unquote race, you must go through his own history. And it really when I heard that, and it really made me think and have a clear understanding and respect of history, that history is always an ongoing process. And it's something that every race people plays or put in place in history that affects the world in which we live in today. And it will affect the world moving forward, even in this new century we're in. So you must have appreciated history as a whole, understand it, respect it, and learn as much as you can. And don't always shield yourself or cut yourself off of only one brand of history. Anyway, I just gotta get that out the way. All right, let's check something. So now onto the subject at hand. And make sure y'all guys like the video as well. I'm kind of feeling a little away in a bit. I didn't really want to do this type of content, to be fair and honest, because I just don't see no value in it for the people that want to, or they follow me for a good while. That I don't see no value in regards when we deal with men, especially black men, that we create these labels towards each other, and it does not progress us as a whole, even in this new environment and this new uncertainty we find ourselves in. And to be fair and honest, I don't see what outcomes we're gonna get just by constantly battling and fighting back towards each other, in my opinion. But nonetheless, as in the title for this stream is Lames and RayRays. What's the real issue? And I would have put in Pookie, but y'all get what I mean. Pookie, RayRay, etc. Yeah, and you also see the thumbnail, so it kind of gives more depiction of the background of today's stream. The issue, let's be honest, is really, if we want to go there, is really the axis of Punani. And I don't want to say this, but this is what I'm getting at, and this is what I'm observing for some time now. And I don't like it, to be fair and honest with y'all, but I gotta keep it real with y'all. And like always, chaos reign. As much time as I like to deal with the chaos and I have to restore the order in which the world you live in today, I gotta keep it upfront honest with y'all. It's kind of getting goofy out here, in regards to this, I guess, so-called class battle between black men. Some that's under 6 figures, and there are some that's above 6 figures. And I don't like any of this war. And here's why I say I don't like the war, because it does not produce the outcomes we need. That, if we want to be honest, as men, we should be doing. You get in the war to really lash it out, get hurt, injured, or whatever, and at the end, you want to come back to the table in reconcile of some form of peace and negotiation after the blood has been spilled in all aspects. And really, truly, a lot of black men don't understand is you war not only by yourself, but you war with other black men. Because other groups of men, as much as I don't want to say this, they deal with their pookies accordingly, but they still are able to control and facilitate this environment they're in. And I don't see enough of us men doing that. And you hear it most times from the guys that are considered Pookie's Ray say if the to Pookie's Ray to the lames, that if the Pookie's Rays are the biggest issue, why don't we build and start something for ourselves? And that's a very much good question. But from what I'm seeing throughout the history, even now, barely see any black man that's doing anything that's of consequence, doing anything constructive with other black men that's, in my opinion, that's quote unquote lame. And I'm saying this because I'm seeing it firsthand that most brothers, on the average, in certain parts, when we do get our stuff together, we don't really like to conversate and work with other black men. If I want to go there, because we already have a disdain for hate towards each other. Now we could say that's been training why we think and operate towards each other way where we don't even want to work as other black men and collaborate, build, and create a foundation for our own selves instead of the views are around women. But we still go back and fight over these issues. And I think it doesn't come to really resolve anything. So you know what I'm doing? I'm going to get in contact with a few brothers here, if I can find them. I can go off the mouth, but I just have to let this out because I'm just, I can say my views on things, and I don't have a problem with either or. But when I look at saying things that we should be doing, that should be more of a conversation. So let's see if I can get this spread online. Okay. All right, yeah, this will work. Mm. All right, and get him. So let me try another brother. Let me see if I can get good old Cerulean on here. I doubt he'll pick up, but it won't hurt. Yes. Be patient, guys. All right. Let me see. Yo, what's good, Cerulean?
What's good?
What's good? I'm not sure if you noticed if you got my notifications if you are still subscribed to my channel, but I'm actually here talking about this thing about the Pookies and RayRays and how this has been brought back up again. You know.
Oh shit! Oh man, I was just fucking asleep, bro.
Oh, you asleep? Oh shit! Oh, bro. All right, man, I should let you get back to some sleep. You know what I'm saying? Was a long sleep. You want to go back to? Hold on, guys. All right. Well, he was resting. Let me see if I can get my good friend Mr. Faulkner Jr. Where is Faulkner? Charles. All right. Let me see.
Hello.
Hey, what's good, Charles? What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm live here right now with the people. That I kind of took a step back and didn't really want to cover this. And I'm not sure you cover this on your channel and let people know Charles Faulkner does got a channel. So let y'all know, for those who are listening, that I know certain people have been bringing back this issue between Pookies and RayRays and the Lames. Have been following lately, Charles, on this? Man, I tell you, bro, it's weird, man. I mean, I'm sitting back reflecting. I didn't want to cover this, but I'm thinking, saying, what constructive value we as men gonna get out of this if we go back and forth between who's lame, who's Pookie, and who's doing what, who's that, in regards to the axis of pussy. I don't know if you want to chime in on this, because that's what it's about.
It's stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you trying to impress? Are you trying to really impress a bunch of people who don't give a damn about you, whether you're educated, blue collar, or bum?
Mm-hmm.
Many of our women treated us the same. They're not respecters of persons. They're not respecters of occupations, and they're damn sure not expectors of income.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So when we go into this Pookie and RayRay educated man versus real nigga shit, it's real lame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Eventually, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fall for everything, or you're gonna stand together? You're gonna hang together or hang in the gallows separately.
Yeah.
That's what you really need to say.
Mm-hmm. 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 And it's funny. The reason why this has been brought back to the attention in regards to the space and for social media and YouTube is because, let's be honest, Charles, because one Mr. Samuels was on a live stream with one set rapper Nicki Minaj, and now it stirs in the pot of the notoriety and the things that what she said and to Kevin, what Kevin said to her. And I'm sitting back and thinking and contemplating, saying, hold on. I know it was a business move he made. That's cool. But look at the outcomes this brought about when he did that. That it lets these, quote unquote, they want to consider themselves lames, feel they have an edge up because now they're talking to the women that they really want to fuck. I mean, that's what I'm looking at, because when I look at Nicki Minaj, I don't view her as anything higher or superior like the rest of these chicks. If I want to keep 100 with you, especially ones that get their bodies augment whatever you gotta do to make it to look attractive, I'm not really impressed. Now as lyrics, yeah, she's good with the mic and all the other stuff, but all the other stuff, no, I'm not really too fond and impressed. But we glorize these celebrities, the entertainers, the singers and stuff, the rappers, and we want to emulate their lifestyle with ours. And I don't see no constructive of it. Even to the men that said that, even when she said that she wants to have sex every day, whatever the story is, and that the Pookie's not laying down in the bed properly. And I'm thinking, say, why is that of importance? You get me?
Because it boils down to sexual politics. It just boils down to sexual acts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And when you look at it, it just shows you how lame it really is. Look, you're only doing it to say who's the real man. Instead of black men getting together, excluding the women, and defining masculinity on our own.
Exactly.
It's amazing how every other race of man can define masculinity without his women.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that I'm really questioning.
Yeah, I question that too. And usually, as men, we should be defining our own masculinity. Every time women is always coming in front of men and saying they define what a man is, and know they're out of order. If you want to keep 100. Oh, what's good? How you doing? I am Shakima. The topic, if you see in the title, it says lambs and RayRays. All right, continue, Charles. Somebody was in the chat room. Oh, you there?
It's a damn shame people are trying to say, well, Pookie and the RayRay and this. How many Pookies and RayRays do we truly have? How many educated people do we truly have? Not that many compared to others.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day,
yeah,
we're gonna have to really, circle around the wagons, regroup, and look at our definitions of masculinity and revamp it.
Yeah. Yes. And we need to start doing this, because when I look at the outcomes of black men as a whole in this country, do you think really have time to say you're going to start a war between other black men that, if you say it's considered not productive in doing things what it should be doing? Is that really the focus for most black men today, to really exert energy, Charles?
I mean, what's our warrior class? That'll answer your question right there.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah, what's the work? And there's not much warriors now, man. Not much, I gotta agree with that, and I think one of the few things a lot of men lack is we have to go back to basics. When things get too chaotic and we're not having no really sense of direction, we have to really start back and go back to basics and really recenter and really find ourselves as men, because you still have to be putting yourself out here in this environment, be productive, do what you gotta do, And if the really outcome is to really get the woman that we want, especially the sisters that most black men want, I mean, what you're willing to do, or what you're willing to do with yourselves to really get the official outcomes you're seeking, Because if the sisters are going to go out their way and entertain the quote unquote low levels of black men, the bums, what you want to call them, and give them time of day and give you the scrappings after, then by all means, let them be great and say, go over there, sweetie, you got my blessing. You're good. Go over there. You know what I'm saying? I have to find myself somewhere else, if that is the end game, And I don't care much, in my opinion, but let's say most dudes do care, right? I say this. If you're doing what you need to be doing as a man and you feel you're not getting that real outcome, then maybe you gotta look, say, what more can you do? What things you could do differently, or you could just escape. There are many options to play this, brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not rocket science. At the end, there's in life, there's choices. and choices lead to outcomes.
And that's the part. It's that, you were there. You saw the live stream I was on.
Yeah, I had to go back through all, but I saw a good portion of it. Yeah.
Not one time did those women ever admit that they were just poor pickers of men. It's always, why can't the men do good? Well, how can you talk about the men not being good, but you open up your legs for anybody?
Man, yeah.
It's like, dude, if he chooses to rob a bank and there's a good possibility he'll be arrested or shot and killed, who can you blame?
Mm-hmm.
Not one damn time do you hear so many women on these panels say that it was my fault. That's when respect starts to count. It's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to blame the men because you don't want men to be leaders. I really want the women just to say what they want and just be at that. You don't want leaders. You just want motherfuckers who basically are the figureheads, people you can blame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't want to listen to us. You're diametrically opposed to us. What's the point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And for those guys still arguing over real niggas and Pookies and RayRays and educated lanes, I've always considered myself a classic man. Hell, I've always considered myself a multi-talented man. So neither wait for me.
Mm-hmm.
There is no consequence that anybody in this space can hold for me. There are no strings on me.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ask a person of my ilk the same question, it's going to fall on deaf ears. It'll be like, oh, you still on that silly shit?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how men of some type of substance should be.
Mm-hmm. 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 And even go further, that the labels, I get why most brothers, especially they want to separate from other black men. I get it. But with these labels, especially in this racist country, they still look at you as one big Negro. So the only thing you could do as a man is you do the best you can. And you can't say that these so-called Pookies, RayRays are the ones that's causing your demise in front of other groups of men. Because think about it, Charles. The media that puts out black men is the media that they control the image to show the negative light of black men for their benefit and for them to make money, period. So if you think that you just address the Pookies, that they're going to stop the demonization of you as black men in this country, you have nothing coming. Because they created the depiction of what a black man is. Do y'all remember Birth of a Nation? And that's my check. Wasn't black people dressed in the same way back then? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
So we gotta use. Go ahead.
Your own damn women are willing to recreate a lie called The Color Purple.
Mm-hmm.
Your own women that will create The Color Purple on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For what? What is that going to prove?
I don't know what it's going to prove, to be honest with you, It don't prove much at all. And it shows that it's like this. Go ahead. You about to say something?
I'm just confused.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused a lot about it. There has to be something that goes on within our community that no one else has to face for stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to talk about subjects that basically are going to be detriments to our society? Necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a ridiculous out.
Mm-hmm. It is. And it goes back to show that if we're going to be the heroes of our own narrative, we have to create that. No one's going to do it for us. YouTube is a good tool for a lot of black men that's creating alternate media, and it needs to expand more than this, but we got to use what we have right now to really push back on the notion of the false propaganda towards black men. You get me? And I tell people many times, the reason why people act and behave and view us, especially women, is because they watch too much media, bro. Too much. Consume too much. So they base their reality for what they see through the television or internet. And it becomes problematic that they keep pushing notion and the demonization of black men in large. You know.
What did we get out of this?
I don't get nothing at all.
What did we really get out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of actually encouraging young men to listen to our officers in the military, get them, instead of actually...
You might speak up close to the mic. You're away from the mic from the phone. So you know.
Instead of encouraging young men to become enlisted officers in the military, instead of encouraging young men and young women to go to STEM, instead of encouraging young ladies to become ladies and to use their degrees to benefit both the men, the women, and the children, and the same goes for the men, we're still arguing about tribal shit. What is that going to prove?
I'm not going to prove nothing.
What's that going to prove?
Nothing at all. Yeah. I mean, I sometimes think that really truly it's counterproductive at the end of the day, in my opinion. Very counterproductive, you know. What other things we could do better, you know. And if you remember, I think one time Uncle D said that he wanted to eradicate the Pookies of here because he feels that they're the ones that's causing the image of black man bad. You know.
Even as a lawyer, all people should know, be careful of that.
I know.
That's fascism.
I know. Yeah.
That's as much fascism. So you got to realize a lot of brothers, there's not a real class level in the black community. Okay? Because a lot of educated men and women are just hood niggas and bitches who just got lucky.
Yeah, basically.
So what if somebody would have said the same thing to him prior to him getting a law degree? Prior to being $1 million lawyer. See, it's kind of one of those situations. You know, it's no different than when white women get, stole affirmative action from black men. You know, of course, give them to the okay from black women. And then now they want to cut the ladder for which they were able to put their Gucci booted feet on. And they want to cut the ladder from anybody else utilizing the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Hold on. But you know, really, and you know, funny thing, because you said it's fascism, it lets you know saying only black men will start thinking like that amongst some things that we don't really have fully control. You know what I'm saying? Besides your feet, we could walk, we could say we're not gonna participate. That's one form of control, but it has to be more. You get me? And I know most brothers, let's be honest, a lot of them want this environment or want things given back to them easy without putting up some form of struggle, you know. And let's be honest, women, if that is, see, and this is my thing that I understand why. Now, before I say this, I'm gonna say this personally, people that's listening, and listen to me good. With most rooms or anything content, if y'all pay attention, the most we consume the most as people are the things that really will not facilitate us to be better, that will help us economically or any other aspects. I want people to hear me well. Why me? I mean is this, that any other subject that we could be talking about that could either be uplifting, be economic empowering, teach something that will benefit us, do not get attention. The most we consume and take our attention off is us getting it on relationships and getting as much sex. I want people to pay attention to that. So the separation between Pookies and RayRays and lames is always going to derive by the sex. To get as much access as possible, saying that you're not worthy of getting pussy. I should be getting all the pussy. And also, in this uncertain world, nothing is given to you. We're not worthy. We're not tied to anything or worthiness of anything. And a lot of men should already know this already.
Yeah, you're not. You're on your own.
Yeah. Just like these women. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fascist. It's not thought provoking. It's not anything that's needed. It's just fascism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A type of fascism, you know.
That's what it basically boils down to, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fascism.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
You talk like that. What you gonna bring up, the Gestapo?
Yeah.
Gonna bring out. I mean, what if all the so-called Pookie and RayRay said we're gonna go to college and whoop all the other niggas' ass?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're gonna start a civil war.
Basically. And you know what happens when civil war? Someone's gonna be down and someone's gonna be up, and it's gonna get messy.
Usually, everybody loses.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing I forgot. In war, no one wins. There's gonna be losers, you know, especially in-house wars.
Let's say you get rid of all the Pookies.
Mm-hmm.
Who else you gonna look down upon?
It's a good question. It's a very good question. I mean, are you going to turn to certain educated lames? Is that next? Because there are some educated lames who will go to war with other educated lames, or ideals, thoughts, opinions, even politics. What I mean, Democrat and Republican? Anybody? So, what are we doing here? You know, what are we really doing? Black people, black men. Mm-hmm.
This is the trick about racism and white supremacy. It's so potent and so good that they don't even have to raise a fist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'll be hell bent to destroy yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like Jay Guru said, you Negroes are going to kill each other, and I'm just going to be happy. And no one said that you destroy these messiahs, live in a world where every day you're killing each other, and he just laughing and smiling. That's some deep thought. When no one said, I don't do much, but I'm able to create the atmosphere, the environment, so you destroy yourselves. And I just sit back with my wine, my good cigar or cigarette, and just enjoy the smoke. That's deep.
Yeah. That's basically what it all comes to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. And I tell people many times, at much times I don't cover this, and I'm not sure in the future I'll recover this again. But I'll be honest with y'all. I'll be really honest with y'all. When it comes down to, you know, the selection of a few certain set women, if you're a man, either you're able to get the axe women or get some or don't get much women off. I mean, you got better things to do, you know? I'm just keeping on. It's just time consuming to worry about if you're able to get access to certain amount of pussy out here. And I get it, because in this digital world we're in, it makes, if you're not careful as a man, depending on what generation you're from, you can be socially awkward if you're not careful in this environment. And if you're not really put yourself out there to in trial and error where you know you're going to get rejected or wherever one case may be, it is better going through that pain now than sit there, bitch and moan, and then get yourself up and then trying to, complain about, the lowers of our community of why they get access to set women. I mean, it's not worth it. And let's be honest, every person of any society plays a role and puts significance. If you think about Charles, other groups of men got their so-called Pookies RAY, but they don't concern about that because certain men, if they're doing some things and controlling the environment, they have to worry about that. They make use of these so-called Pookies RAY if you want to go there. But we don't have these conversations because when it comes to the black man today, and I think one of the downfalls to a lot of black men, because a lot of them have been raised by one parent, I believe and I'm convinced that you develop a cowardness as a man, 0 to adulthood, and you don't know how to handle this environment or handle other groups of men. I mean, I remember the many fights I used to got back in there, not much, very little. But when I look back now, and you probably got some fights too, Charles said, these things are necessity for growth for young black boys. And look how society's treating them now, where they don't experience just to get punched in the fucking face. It does something to you. It makes you weak, coddle, in a way, that you're afraid of aggression or deal with things where it might hurt. And I'm just thinking hard on this and I remember I had this conversation with Layar Movement about even back then, men were skilled enough where they can handle themselves, not only physically, but in other forms, like hand to hand and all stuff. Because you know how black people are, we used to take, do sports, certain things, activity that makes your body have to move. You have to react. You have to be able to create and be able to utilize your reflex. These things prepare you for the harsh environments you're in. Right now, if I look today now, I barely will see some of that because most of the boys have become bitches. They become so effeminized that a little cut in their finger, they'll cry. Even to the point doing menial labor, bro, they don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it because we've taught our boys to be soft is to be right. Not to endure, not to grow stronger, not to be smarter, not to be more ruthless, not to be more cunning, but to be more in touch with your feminine side.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for, you get what you cultivate.
I agree.
But you're going to get it.
Oh, they're going to get it. And they're getting it now, bro. And the women that complain the most say, look what you nourish and you produce. All right. Regardless of the man's there or not. This is the environment that you set for, you want it. And now other men had to sit there deal with the effects of the environment. I'm not saying other men will help nourish some of these boys, but let's be honest, bro. Way how women and how our environment is, they're not going to think and say, I'm doing this for free. Regardless, I'm looking for the betterment of the black males in the long run.
I mean, I don't think any man should do it for free.
What you said, Charles? You're away from your phone. You said no man should do it for free. Go again.
No. Why?
But that's, I think you should do it for free because it should be a duty, a good Samaritan for the community.
Why can't they pick better fathers?
So
that means if I had a daughter, they'll take my daughter for free.
Y'all heard that, guys? If he has the right, take for free. I think that's what Charles said. It's got narrated because you're away from your phone. Someone trying to.
So you're not going to take my. If I had a daughter, would you take her for free?
Shit.
For too long, black men have not put a price tag on their loyalty, on their protection. That's the main problem.
Oh yeah, it's a big problem. Very big problem.
You think I'm supposed to give up my life willy-willy
But they say that men has to create sacrifice. So in their mind, that man should sacrifice every little thing, including their life, and be grateful, And we look at there's many men that sacrifice and they don't get crap for it. And they probably still sacrifice it. And I think most men, because most men are logical creatures, they're gonna just sit back and say, what's really the purpose? To come back to a community that doesn't respect you, much as to even give a damn, Hell, they don't give a damn for the boys and the outcomes that what they want for their own children, their own sons. You get me? I hear too many individual mindset between the children, I mean, you must understand you need men or produce certain men for this environment to cultivate and for your own preservation as a race in the long run, not just for yourself, but just for the long run. But like I said, yeah. So let's let y'all contemplate and think about that. I always said once, and I say this constantly, that in my opinion, that the boys should be with the fathers. I should not get no pushback with that message. That should be obvious. It should be say yes and give it to them without no pushback. But just that alone is an issue. Regardless of the mess, women will say that, well, they don't want to deal with their children, especially the boys. How you know that?
See, that's a preconceived notion. They don't want to deal with the boys. No, they don't want to deal with you, because when women try to force a man to be with them, they're gonna automatically say he didn't want you in their life. It's gonna tell the truth. None of these bars need to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really needs to happen. Tell the guy.
Yeah. I can't be complaining about Pookie, and Pookie is being manufactured every day. RayRay, all these things, And I never told y'all this. If y'all check my previous video, I did break down that the 5G and the AI that's here now, that all this low-level criminality is going to be in the past by the end of this decade, because they're going to utilize it and going to start locking people for doing these little small petty crimes easy now. And they don't really need you to snitch. People think that being a real nigga is something that's going to be off the past. The movies how we depict this, and this is what is coming. I have to tell y'all this. I remember George did content, and I had to sit there look up some articles of how this is possible, and I found out that with all the innovation and the faster bandwidth, that automation is much more efficient now with this new gig. 4G only takes you so far, but with this new faster advanced bandwidth 5G, and other countries already have this, that now they're taking technology to a whole new level. They don't really need much people to solve crimes. They got everything in their disposal to make it easier. To be a cop now in the 21st century, if people choose to work in law enforcement, you have it easier now than ever than you would have it 20 years ago. If you decide to pursue a career as a cop or whatever.
Don't worry, it's a lot of idiots in there. So.
Was that Charles?
It's a lot of idiots and fucking law enforcement that will fuck it up.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Most of the majority of them are white anyway, so what do you expect? Yeah. I mean, I can't. I'm not gonna really on topic. I'm not in law enforcement, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Yeah. But like I said, people, these men that are gonna be the problems that the lames that complain about, they're not going nowhere. You might think the white man will fix this. He's not. He needs to manufacture Pookies and RayRays if this is the issue, because it benefits him. And he'll take some of your lames if needed to.
In a minute, about to start this short live stream.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll probably swing by. Cause I'm not doing nothing. So give me some time. But thank you, Charles. Come up. If you want to leave any last words for people.
And I'm out.
All right. Peace. And so before I wrap this up, let me see if I can find one more person. And that's probably the last call, guys. And if y'all want to join the links in the chat room, it's optional. And as I wait, guys, and see, Shakima was there. I appreciate you, Shakim, for passing by. I hope you come by soon. I mean, this subject I cover is a little bit different from ordinary, and normally I don't invest time talking about certain depiction of certain black men because I don't really have a problem with Pookie and Ray per se, but I also don't see the benefit of really saying that. Hold on, I got somebody now. Let's see. What's good, Shatterstar?
Hey, what's the word, Mr. Chaos?
What's good? What's good? I'm live streaming right now, man. I'm here discussing and covering this thing that has been talked about for the past week or so throughout the social media, the spirit, YouTube, etc. about Pookie, RayRay, and the Lames. What is the difference? I think that's the title.
Pookie, RayRay, and the Lames. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. What is the issue? Sorry, I said it wrong.
Okay.
And I laid out with Charles because Charles and me just chopped up earlier, and I'm saying that the only issue I find is it's always about the axis of coochie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that you hear it now from what Mr. Samuels had with Nikki, and it stirs some content about it. You get me? Even to her time I say she's not getting satisfied with her little Pookie that she's married to, you know?
Okay.
And I'm thinking, saying, okay, so she's not satisfied by the Pookie. So what's the next option? She go find a lame? I mean, now mind you, the reason I'm telling this, Shatter, to lead on to a better point, that a lot of black men that are Pookies, Rays, or considered educated lame, whatever you want to call it, it stirs some type of conversation that I'm not sure is leading to any back and forth or some form of low-level warfare. But I'm thinking, saying, I'm hoping that this is not being brought back because certain people are getting some notoriety that is lames, that they're getting the possibly access and attention to women that really never want to seek you in the first place.
I thought we was over the Pookie and RayRay and the educated lane. I thought that was just another way for the gynocracy to call men that don't want them, different names. I don't like that. Like we already got enough bad, connotations for brothers. Why do people make up so many words to disparage other brothers, whether they be a Pookie or RayRay or whatever? I don't understand why we got to make up so many words and stuff like that. I thought, what I'm saying, that as brothers, we have enough problems as it is than other brothers making up words for other brothers. You know what I mean?
I mean, I get it, but my thing is this, bro. The reason why it's brought back attention because let's be honest. The only reason why I think it's been brought up, and I know who brought it back up, but let's say other men have been talking about it, even they're talking about saying what these Pookies really do, or what being a real nigga has really gotten certain black men, which is another conversation to really look into. But and even lames, what lames have really done, if we want to go there. But let's be honest, as black men in America, we're not doing what is necessary to put ourselves back in prominence in this environment that we do not control officially. You get me?
Right.
And not only that, they see you as one big Negro. And the sad thing about it is a lot of people that's educated lames and lames, they get mad that the Pookies, Rays are shitting on and messing up the image of modern average black men that's going to be attacked by other groups of men. And I have to really think and sit back closely and really analyze that. If that was the case, let's think about that. There's a certain dress code that you could determine who's who. The average black man today, if we want to keep it, whereas not casual clothes, but wear mostly hip hop, pants sagging, certain layers sneakers, something like that, maybe in that attire overall, right? And that's the image that's pushed to us through media, right? So
But yeah, the media pushes it, yeah, for sure.
So people gotta say is because that image, you as men that keep yourself a certain clean cut and you still get attacked by non-black people, is more than this image. They see something more than just what you wearing. You get me? They're looking for something. If you remember the movie Birth of a Nation, and I told Charles this, most men or just men in general wear only one attire. Sometimes they keep some simple old casuals, clean or somewhat roughed up or whatever, but nonetheless, it's all one uniform. You get me? Today, we have many.
You gotta have, like, you know, and especially being in this new system that we live in, you know, I think that, you know, being from, you know what I'm saying, our age range, you know, we can wear any type of clothes, you know what I'm saying? And like I sometimes when I go on different interviews or if I go do a business meeting, I sometimes watch the clothes that I wear as well, Chaos. I understand what you're saying because
I know.
People will stereotype you just specifically on a first view of you. You know what I'm saying? You could be the smartest brother in the world and smartest brother in the room. And I think a good brother of mine said that the other day. He said, you know, you got to be the best in the room, and then you got to look the part too. So not only do you have to be the best in the room and know the room, but then you got to look the part too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas our counterparts, a lot of times, they just have to show up and speak good, and shit, they already gonna be half of the problem right then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get it. But like
I try to make sure I'm at least business casual. You know what I'm saying? I try to I'm doing certain meetings, and I've even noticed, and I know I've said this once before. I've even paid people that's of other cultures to go in with the same business plan that I came in with myself to whatever the client may be.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's a good client. I know we can make some money, but they may or may not, you know what I'm saying, be receptive to the younger brother, or brother period. Now I've sent some Caucasians and some Latin people in there. That same deal that I went in there with, same business plan and perspective. And we'll get the contract after I sent in the other cultures. You know, and it messed up, true enough. But, you know, I understand what we're up against. And so I just try to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, once I know what we're up against, I just go ahead and try different ways. And sometimes it requires me putting in a little extra work, and I had to pay an extra person to go ahead and in there. You know what I'm saying? That try to say the same words that I say, but say it with their face, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I follow you. I'm not sure if you're driving Shadow, because it's kind of loud, the background. Just let you know. For me,
yeah,
yes.
Man, I'm headed back from the office, man. I'll give you a hit back, man, when I pull up to the...
All right, cool. All right, respect.
All right, brother.
Okay. That's Shadow Star game, people. So, okay. Yeah, but that's what I said. I get it. See, you had a code switch at the end of the day, people, especially black men. But at the end of the day, they still look at you and see you as one big Negro. And that's just the honest truth. And as much times I don't want to say this, but I had to keep real. So we could say that Pookie and Ray has damaged the image of black men. Yes, this is true. But we have to be really honest that they create the image to shit on us as black men as a whole, personally. And the solution part, if we want to go there, and to put a nail and a dagger to this, what now? What now, black man? So now that we have the categories and we say we don't like certain things of certain groups of other black men, what do we do and move on from here? That should be the question you should take out of today's stream and really contemplate and think about it. Now, like always, I would like to hear from you personally for your answers to the question I laid out in this stream. I'll be reading the comments of this, if there's any, and I expect some, hopefully. But if not, you must catch replay in this and really go back from beginning to now to really have a clear, crystal understanding what I'm getting at here. Pookie and RayRay and HK Names, if you are doing this in regards for a female, you already lost as a man. And as men, we got work on it and fix it and address that. And that is the real end game for a lot of men, especially the lames. So that's it. And that's the message I leave with you. If you're new to the channel, make sure hit that red button and that top bell for notifications for live streams here on the Chaos Rain channel. Also, you must follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. And now you can follow me on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. And I also have a Discord service link in the description in the about section of the channel, the Chaos Rain channel. And I'm looking forward that you hit the links and, hit me up. But other than that, thank you for listening to today's stream. And like always, you know where to find me. It's like funny, but but y'all know where to find me at. The Chaos Rain.